Admit it, I'm pretty punctual, aren't I? I'm a very punctual fellow. How are you? Welcome to Vinyl Junkies, episode 18. What did I call this episode? I had a title for it and everything. Making Vinyl, Meeting Jack White, and DMC. That's the name of this. We have a bunch of surprises today. I got a bunch of stuff to tell you, and I had a good time. I'm going to provide you with a full report of what happened there at this. Hey, you know, I got you see those lights? That's because I got a light right behind the camera, and they're like glaring right into my glasses, and it's really pissing me off. It's like, it feels like something's stabbing me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that shit off, okay? Give me a second. Yeah. See, the reason it is that I do that is because after going to the very first vinyl conference ever, the Making Vinyl Conference in Detroit, you know, you meet a lot of bigwigs. You meet a lot of big people, right? And I figure some of them are watching right now. So what better time is it to start fucking around with the settings than right when people are smack dab listening to the fucking show? You see? I should swear less, though, right? I mean, it's a little bit more genteel. It's a little bit cleaner. You can watch it with your kids, you know, if we kind of remove the riffraff from the show. So, yeah. Before I get into that, I'll get into a couple of things. I'll get into Vinyl Junkies stats for last week, just to kind of give you an idea. And what we're going to do is get our sponsors out of the way. You know why? Because they're awesome. And Vinyl Me Please, you know, are my sponsors. And you know that they're the ones that are making these records available, right? So you see that little prize thing when you guys share the link and all this, and boom. You go to that store. That store is Vinyl Me Please. And their new shop is opening next Thursday. So one of you is going to get picked for records. And it's going to be a fun thing to do, all right? So, the best damn vinyl club out there. Ooh, I got news, actually. I'll save it for a little later, but there's an episode on Friday, okay? I'll tell you what that episode is. Secondly, this is another piece of news. Org Music shining new light on seminal recordings from vinyl catalogs like CTI, Sun Records, Black Lion, the Atlantic and Columbia Jazz catalogs, and many others. And you know what else? If you actually go visit their site, they're going to give you 10% off. Just put VJ10 in there. Tell them that fat guy on TV sent me. 10%. Boom, done. They're awesome. And then we got our friends at Vinyl Style. Vintage solutions for modern era. They put out vinyl accessories like inner and outer sleeves and that kind of thing. I'm going to be testing that material out. I have been working with it a lot, and reviews are upcoming, but not quite yet. I just want to speak to the guys there and make sure that we do it in the best way possible. But if you see Vinyl Style anywhere at your local shops, buy with confidence. It's all good stuff, okay? I'll get into more details later. And there we go. We just got, in my best David Letterman form, we just got rid of the sponsors. Now we can get to show. We can get to the show. This is the part where I'm going to play some music in the background, okay? And just guess what it might be. What does it sound like to you, okay? Just tell me. It might be too noisy for me to do this show, but we'll see. Why don't we try? All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk stats. Last week was good. Fuck, this is annoying. Oh boy, this is annoying. Yeah, I can't do this. So, we've been hitting 50K, right? And it's cool, man, and like 40K. Last week was 30K. And I always like to break down those numbers to tell you who the target audience is. And once again, right, we've noticed this trend amongst mid-30s to mid-40s Latina MILFs from Mexico. They love me. And I mean, who can blame me? Look at me. I'm fucking papi chulo, right? So, we follow this entire thing now, and I keep digging through my thing, and all of a sudden, one thing, all the men started watching again, and I'm, okay, let's see. 35 to 44, also from Mexico. So I'm thinking that now that all of these women, their wives and girlfriends, have been caught doing naughty things to themselves whilst watching my videos, I figure I got a target on my head, you understand? And I'm thinking maybe we need walls. So, I think they're watching and plotting their revenge against me because a whole lot of people from Mexico, Mexican males, are watching. And if you're getting Mexican orders, then, well, you're welcome. And all of a sudden, Vietnam seems to be watching as well. So I do not speak Vietnamese, but I would love to. I really, really, really like your soups. And arigato. I've never been to Vietnam, I'm sorry, man, but welcome, all right? I think that might be it for the stats. So now, what I'm going to do is, I do have a few surprises, right? The first one being, I had mentioned org music. I've been lucky enough to speak to a bunch of the people at this Making Vinyl conference and meet a couple of them. Andrew Rossiter at Org Music was one of them. So pretty soon during the show, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add him in and kind of we'll speak to him live and see what his impressions were. None of this is really scripted or anything. So okay, so check it, right? Do the show. Try to prepare for this conference. Now, I've been to a bunch of conferences, but never in music. Always in the field of finance, right? And first time, music conference, like cool. And went in a day early because, well, it's Detroit. So I figure I'd go to this museum and that museum and that museum. Thing is, I was partying the night before because my friend had a party, right? For his wife, who just received her papers so that she can work here in Canada. So she doesn't have to suck the system dry anymore. These fucking leeches, these immigrants, right? So we held a party for her because, well, we love immigrants. We really do. So I didn't get much sleep. I get on the plane, 6 o'clock in the morning. All of a sudden, right away, start the day. This plan of going out and being Mr. Tourist goes out the window. Why? Because I'm dead tired. Okay, get on the plane. First thing, deplane in Detroit. First thing I notice. I'm not saying, just, there are so many black people in Detroit. And believe me, I'm not saying that to be racialist at all. Because the second thing that came through my head was, holy fuck, do these people know how to dress fly, man? Everyone was spack. Everyone was on point. Everyone looked great. And it was fun. It was fun to just see a different kind of taste, you know? And it's kind of like, hey, man, this is a home of Motown, man. This is the home of fucking techno music and funk and a whole bunch of great music. So I kind of got that right away. Just coming straight out of the airport. It was amazing. I loved it. Take my ride down to my thing there to, you know where you stay? Not the hotels. I don't fuck hotels. They cost too much. I'm a poor man. I can't afford hotels. So what it is that I did is I went to, look up at the top there. You're going to see pictures. I went to an Airbnb and the folks there were amazing. Now, the reason it is that I'm doing this is not because I owe anybody anything, but, you know, a lot of these places, a good word goes far for them. And what it is that I liked so much about this Airbnb, which is right around the corner from the Cass corridor, where, you know, and I didn't know this when I got the place, right? So, next thing you know, I find out that my place, my room, is located literally around the corner from Third Man Records. So I'm there. Score. There we go. One thing done, right? That's definitely something that I wanted to do. So, cool. Get in. This nice bright paint everywhere. It's like, All right. I dig this as well. The gentleman comes out and say, hey, hi, how are you? I'm Kevin. He says hello to me. And right away just seems to go above and beyond in the things that he wants, you know, to be able to help me, making sure that I'm acclimated, making sure, hey man, do you need me to take you to a bank? Do you need me? Are you hungry? Have you eaten? Look, there's some muffins there. There's some apple juice. And like right off, like super friendly, right? And it's like, you know what? I think I can get used to this. I dug it, right? So, felt comfy right from the beginning. At some point, I'm going to talk about music, right? And I will. I'm going to be talking about music through the entire thing. I'm sorry if you don't like the stories, but I told you I had stories. I have lozenges, too. You remember last week? My throat was all fucked. I have lozenges. All right, so where was I? Unpack my bags. Rainy as fuck, by the way. I'm not sure if Detroit's always like that, but rainy as fuck. It was miserable. So I go to Third Man Records, and it's yellow everywhere and black. And it's really, really fucking just beautiful. And it was pretty clear that, I mean, at this point, what is that? I believe, if I'm not wrong, they opened up the pressing plant in January or something, not long ago. So it's really, you can see, it's just a fresh coat of paint. So I got to go in there, and I mean, the first thing that caught me immediately was, it was all Third Man products. Okay. So, and I mean, I was later to find out that it's very successful with just the Third Man product. So I found that pretty cool. But, like right in front of me, man, the Paramount box sets. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the history of Paramount Records there, but it's just, they used to make furniture and they started making records, and a lot of this stuff is just needed to come back. But look, let's face it, it's not a money-making proposition. But if anything, these are the records that I want most from the Third Man catalog. So, you know, I got to see both Volume 1 and Volume 2 of those, and they were truly impressive, and records that I'll never get to own. But beautiful. Going there, I realized that Shinola is right next door, and Shinola makes some pretty cool turntables. Why? Because I saw some of the ads on my Facebook feed. So I went in, checked out the turntables, and checked out some really cool headphones. So if you like that kind of lifestyle brand, the headphones look really nice. All right. Not much to do. Kevin comes back. Hey, man, everything's comfortable, whatever. We go. Have a couple of drinks, and this guy tells me that during the 80s and the 90s, he used to throw down in these Detroit clubs with, like, George Clinton of Parliament Funkadelic and Bootsy Collins, and they would just get on stage and fucking party. This dude's a bass player, right? It's like, oh, shit, right? So it's like right away, connection, just immediate connection. And that's where the music part comes in. It's just the minute you, that thing that it does to us, man, you spot it in someone, so his eyes lit up and my eyes lit up. Now, he's a good decade older than me at least, but that made it even more for me because he's lived most of his life in Detroit. So this man had stories, and he just starts telling me his stories. And I'd talk about music. You know, he's got the jazz background. He likes Copeland there from the Police quite a bit. And naturally, all of the music stories started coming out of me as well. If you remember last week, I had mentioned that when I look back, I'm not sure that I've ever spent more than half an hour in a room with anybody and not begun speaking about art or music at some point or another. It's kind of normal, you know? So me and Kevin just started chopping it up, and before you know it, this guy's calling a bunch of people about these movie projects that they're working on, and some music, and how it is that it's being, you know, produced by a Japanese anime, Japanese anime movie company, and it's all top secret, and there seems to be some kind of Afro samurai thing to this happening. So all this mystery and intrigue, and it's like, dude, I've been in the city for 2 hours and I already got this going on. So he's like getting on the phone. It's like, hey man, you got to come and meet this guy. This guy's cool. It's like, listen, I'm not going to be cool or nothing, but nice to see that almost immediately, as soon as I got into Detroit, art stared me right in the face. It was amazing. I loved it. So I felt comfortable immediately. Went to Gus's Fried Chicken because I was told that Gus's Fried Chicken was good, and it was. Grab a bit of sleep. So the next morning, day one, the Making Vinyl Conference. This is where it is that I'll change the thing, so you see a bunch of different pictures. So listen, Kevin, I know that I owe you a review on Airbnb, and I will, I promise, I'll get to it. But your hospitality, man, it's greatly appreciated. You're fucking cool, man. You're cool. Thanks for making me feel at home. You know, it made me miss my wife and my kid just a little bit less. So I'll be back, okay? I promise. So now we move on to the Making Vinyl Conference. Next day, right? This is just a rolling carousel of a bunch of things happening, right? So these people, these are the cast of characters that were at this Making Vinyl Conference. I had heard about it only a little while ago and wanted to go there right away. As I get there, first person that's the speaker, first of all, it's like, I noticed there were a lot of people. Really, wow. I was soon to find out there were 300 people that attended it. For the very first vinyl conference, right? This is from an industry that's supposed to have been dead. Just, what, 10 years ago? As we got in that room, you know, the first couple of, I don't know, right at the beginning, you know, there's a lot of people there that obviously know themselves, but you see, for myself, I was a fish out of water, right? It's the first time, and I was meeting some of my clients, and I was going there to meet other people, right? And so, hello, do all the rest of this thing. The conferences come in, and Michael Kurtz, the co-founder of Record Store Day, just gets on stage, and first thing he says is, look, you know, I'm not one of these guys to really get into doing these speeches type things, but I'm a stoner from California, so I'm just going to keep acting like a stoner from California. And he starts launching into, you know, a bunch of stats of how the actual growth of vinyl, if anything, is under reported from what it is that you see. So I just kind of dug up a bunch of stats. I don't know how many. Did I get any? Yeah, okay. So Kurt's analysis, I did make notes, right? I'm a professional after all. Kurt's analysis of how the vinyl comeback has been underreported by the mainstream media was then supported statistically. So he pops out all this stuff with statistics from Discogs. Okay, check it. How many would you say? No, I'm not going to make you guess. Last week, Discogs processed 114,000 orders. The vast majority of that is vinyl. Think about it. 114,000 sales, man. That stuff doesn't show up on SoundScan or any of that. So it's bustling. And after spending 2 days there, I can tell you, I'm not going to get to how enthusiastic. You'll see through the story why I was as enthusiastic about it, but it was really, honestly, one of the best experiences of my life. And I hope it's interesting enough for you guys to listen and watch, because for me, the entire point of a show like this is I want to kind of pull back the curtain and give you guys, the ones who buy the records and who are watching, a chance to meet, you know, the people who make these records, whether it be an artist, a label owner, or any part of the process, because the music industry is full of some pretty creative cats with very interesting stories. So that's what the platform is based on. If I'm boring you, sorry, man, I'm doing the best I can. So this is where it is that, you know, they do panels. And during the first panel, that's where it is that I meet Rossiter. And now I'm going to take off all these handsome pictures, and I'll put them back up later, but all these guys who all have a story attached to them. Rossiter comes along, and, you know, we've been speaking for... How long have we been speaking? I don't know, since the summer. I turned on the camera only in May, right? So, since then, and we've come a long way, and finally we hooked up. And, you know, I asked the dude after getting comfortable with a couple of beers that, hey, do they sell any devil's cabbage in Detroit? Because I don't know. And didn't happen. So then we go a little further, and this fucking Rossiter, who you're going to meet now, tells me, you know what, I know you got a sweet tooth there. You got a sweet tooth? I got some fudge for you. Andrew Rossiter, are you there? He might not even be
here.
there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but I don't see you in your seat.
I'm here.
Really? Oh, shit, you are... Wait a sec. You know what? Let me get this screen set up again. Oh, what a disaster. But, yeah, definitely. You guys, do you hear this? You hear this, right? I'm seeing...
Yeah, you can hear me, yeah.
You know what I think the deal is? I think I need to refresh the screen somehow. See, there's a show that I haven't been doing this forever here. Let's see if this works. Come on, you cocksucker. Rossiter, people are going to have to take my word for it when I tell them that you're very, very sexy. Or what it is that I'm going to do is... No, fuck, I don't got time for that. Rossiter, all we do is we see a chair, and we see the fact that you are the big cheese at Org Music. How do you love my technology, Rossiter?
Looks great, man. Looks better than me.
It does. You see, so the thing is I saved you a bit of shame. It counts for something. Look, in any case, it was a really... I mean, it was a pleasure to meet you, finally hang out with you. And, I mean, I still got plenty of my own stories to go, but I wanted to get your impression. What was your thought there? I mean, you've been to these types of things quite a bit, right? So you knew a lot of people in the room already?
Yeah, a fair amount for sure. Those that I didn't know, you know, I mean, I'm definitely familiar with almost everyone there, I'd say.
Okay, gotcha. And, I mean, it's the first conference like this. I mean, it's the first vinyl conference that you actually, like, vinyl-centric conference, as far as I know. Did you find that it was any different, let's say, from any of the other business that you've done? Or just, what was your what were your takeaway impressions, Andrew Rossiter, of Org Music?
It was great, man. I really enjoyed the conference. I think it was one of the first industry events like that I've been to that was so positive, and you know, everyone was very supportive of each other. Friendly competition, exchanging ideas.
Yeah.
It's just great to have that many people that care about vinyl all in one room, right?
It is. So what you're going to do now is you're going to tell me, dude, a little bit of the history of your label, because while you do all of that, I'm going to try to bring your picture in so that we can actually see exactly how handsome you are. You're fucking handsome as hell, and I think these people need to know. Thing is though, you're a fuck
face. Don't make me blush, Sam.
Dude, you were supposed to get me fudge. You know my sweet tooth. There's an entire story there. I'm going to wait for you to show up on camera. So listen, dude, why don't you tell these people you got some record store day releases coming out, and you're going to tell people about Org Music. Why are we doing this? Tell me.
Sure, yeah. So Black Friday's coming up. We've got... I know you've been talking about the Mike Watt release, who you need to get hip to. I'm aware.
It's embarrassing, isn't it? I mean, it's so embarrassing, but it's the truth, man. I'm not going to put it on. I mean, I know the Minutemen from Reputation. I know Firehose from Reputation, but I don't know it, so...
We'll start with the Minutemen, you know, and then check out our Ball Hogger Tugboat reissue, and then Contemplating the Engine Room is the one that's up next, so... We've also got all of his new stuff, starting with Hyphenated Man.
Okay.
Let's see what else we got. I got some records behind me here. I guess you can't see me, but otherwise we've got this garage rock compilation called Garage Days, which I think you've talked about on the show.
Okay.
We got the Albert Eiler and Don Cherry Vibrations, which I'm very excited about.
That's probably the one I'm most excited about, man. I'm a
Yeah.
huge fan of Albert Eiler, eh? Well, he's known kind of like as the Holy Ghost in terms of music too, right? So they got fuck, who was the father? The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I know Coltrane was one of them. Albert Eiler was another, and Charlie Parker was most probably the father of the whole thing. But have you ever heard that analogy in jazz?
Yeah, absolutely. But
Yeah, so
Eiler, you got to hear this record. I would love for you to A/B it if you've got a copy at home because I'm really proud of how it came out.
yeah, cool. What else is on the menu? You have the Mike Watt, which I don't know,
Exactly, yeah.
right? You
Which is a
have
really exciting one because it's never been on vinyl. It's 20th anniversary, and in addition to it's a double LP with the fourth side etched out because it was one of those 60-minute records basically where you can't fit it on two sides, and it's you don't need to spread it out over four. So we did a nice custom etching on
side.
the fourth side.
I'm finding that. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say it also includes one of the cooler parts is it includes a download of a live show playing that full album through, which has never been heard before.
Okay. And what else do you have?
Other
Dude,
than that,
what's the deal with that rockabilly, man?
are you talking about the garage rock one?
Oh boy, yeah.
Yeah, that one's cool. I mean, it's all '60s American garage rock. Some of this stuff you'll be familiar with. A lot of it you probably won't. A lot of stuff that was only done on 45s, in a small run and never repressed and
Okay.
never available otherwise.
Okay.
Everything we got on here, the Vacant Lot, the Tiki, so you're probably familiar with the Plunders,
Hey,
the
bro.
Squires.
Bro.
Yo,
Bro. Look at yourself. You're on camera. Say something. Everybody sees exactly how handsome you look. Was I lying? Look at this man.
here we go.
Garage Days, dude. That one. What? Were you the guy who compiled that?
Actually, Matt Block helped out a lot with that. Matt Block over at Rhino and Runout Group.
Okay.
So you can thank him too. But yeah, this one came out really nice. You can see it better in the light, the color.
Okay.
But, yeah.
It's funny, right? Because one of the things that I was supposed to say during all of this was that we were going to talk in a couple of weeks again, right, for Black Friday, right? Because all these releases are coming out Black Friday. As it turns out, we're talking about Black Friday right now. Still, man, people know what they're going to buy when it comes to that. Can I tell you what it is that I'm a jazz head, right? One of the thing that I liked most about your label, ironically enough, wasn't jazz at all, but what's in the background, man? 400 Blows. Listen, they might hate me for even saying it, but just as a fan of hardcore and as a really big fan of Quicksand, who really needs the new record as well, this took me right there. I felt there was a little bit of suicidal tendencies in there as well. He sounds, if I'm not, like, I kind of got a little bit of Jello Biafra and Dead Kennedys.
Got a little bit of that. Sure.
He does. And unlike a lot of the hardcore bands, wow, are they tight, man. These guys look like they spend their lives like practicing together.
Yeah, that record, it's Kevin Fitzgerald on drums and Scott Martin on guitar. Those guys can play. They haven't been together for a while, which is unfortunate, but it's a great record.
Yeah. Well, and you have a whole bunch of them too. Anyway, you sent it, and it's funny because it took me a while to actually open it, and then as soon as I got that Quicksand sound, yeah, 400 Blows is for me. And another thing, I'm not sure you're able to see. Yeah, you are able to see this, right? Yeah, this is the right way. See? You know what this is, but this, I really like record porn, spine porn, so I love stuff that looks all the same, and I mean, you can see back there that there's a big orange and black, and that's probably the most spine porn ever. I love that shit. And there's also,
I got one right here that came out just yesterday, actually.
Bro,
this Earl Hines.
Can I ask you a question? That came out just yesterday. So in other words, this year, because I haven't had a chance, I wanted to do your material proper. Okay, like I wanted to really dig into it. I hadn't gotten to it yet, but is this the same one, or like this is an advanced copy that you had given me?
The Earl Hines that you've got there?
Yeah, or is this like an original and you reissued? What's the deal?
No, I'm not sure which one you have there. If you have there's a color vinyl edition that we actually did for Barnes & Noble. and that came out a little while ago. The black vinyl version just came out in stores yesterday.
Don't be upset that I didn't open the record. It's actually no, dude. Listen, the reason I didn't open the record is because I want to do it justice. So at some point, yeah, it's the yellow one. I guess this is the Barnes and Noble one.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no. At some point, I know myself well enough to know that I'm gonna go through what's it called? I'm gonna go through a Black Lion jag, and I'd really like to be able to speak to you to the history, because I know that you're putting out a lot of Black Lion stuff, and the spines look really sexy together. So we should probably do a Jazz 101 on that. What do you think?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we've done a handful of Coltrane, Dexter Gordon, Billie Holiday, Louis Armstrong. I mean, there's so much in that catalog.
Wait a second.
Sun Ra, which I know you're excited about.
Wait a second. Sun Ra? Huh? Sun Ra and John Coltrane on Black Lion?
What's that?
Sun Ra and John Coltrane?
Sorry. No, there's no Coltrane on Black Lion. I misspoke. We have done a handful of Coltrane records. There's a handful of Monk records that we did on Black Lion.
Yeah, Black Lion.
And then 3 Sun Ra records that were on Black Lion. Yeah, that's right.
But holy shit, so all like the ones that you made the new covers for, right? I wish I had them. I didn't know we were going to talk about Sun Ra, but
sure.
Honestly, is a conversation about Sun Ra a bad thing? Like the new covers, right? Was it you guys that designed it? Was it like you gave me you sent over, what was it, 3 Sun Ra records? Were those part of the Black Lion thing, or are you speaking to records that will be coming out on Black Lion?
There were 3 Sun Ra records that we've done so far, which have been issued both on Black Lion and Freedom.
Okay,
which, but we opted to create our own original art. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
For those 3 in particular, the 3 that we did, Janus, Outer Spaceways Incorporated, and Spaceways, they've been issued under different titles, and yeah, we just kind of took some liberties with that one because there wasn't necessarily one issue of that we wanted to replicate. We wanted to just do our own thing and do it right.
Yeah, but a lot of this stuff, right? I'd heard from Jamie Saft, a pianist that's played with Zorn and Iggy Pop and a whole bunch of people, and he was saying that supposedly a lot of the members of Sun Ra are finally beginning to get some representation and starting to get their stuff cataloged properly and getting paid royalties on stuff that they've been fucked on for years. So it looks like there's a whole glut of Sun Ra stuff coming out now. Am I right?
Yeah, the guys at Modern Harmonic who were out at making vinyl. Yeah, they're doing a lot of that work, which is great, and I love to see that. I know that there were a lot of bootlegs rather that were put out of his stuff where people were not paying royalties. Of course, ours were legit, paying royalties to the folks at DA Music who own the Black Lion catalog, the Freedom catalog, and own those masters.
It's funny,
we're all about
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah. You go.
No, it's Oh fuck! I hope we're not feeding back. All of a sudden, the volume got weird here. I didn't know we were going to get into Sun Ra, and I was almost scared because it was a question that went in my head and I never got around to asking you. It's kind of like, wow, man, did I just out him as one of the guys who wasn't paying the Sun Ra guys? Okay, so you know about that entire story.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And we've got one more Sun Ra, which is the 4th, and they are all very legit, I can attest. 4th Sun Ra record that we're going to do. And that one I won't name quite yet because we haven't announced it.
You haven't announced it yet, eh? Okay, yeah. Very cool, man. Hey, was there anything that struck you at the Making Vinyl conference? I mean, what was your impression overall? Was there anything that, do you have anything interesting to share with us, Andrew?
Interesting to share. I think I listened to the opening of the podcast here. I think you touched on most of it. I mean, my big takeaway, like I already said, was just how nice it is to have that many people, from the plants to the mastering engineers to, the people who are manufacturing new parts for the presses, just to have all these people, labels, distributors, just have all these people in one room. And, a lot of these industry conferences you can walk away with some negative feelings, a lot of complaining, a lot of, competitiveness. This was definitely the most positive, productive conference that I've been to in that way. And like I said, it was, just great to see everyone.
It's look, I've been to hundreds of these conferences, okay? It's the first conference I've ever been to in the music industry, however. Uh my former life as, a finance guy made it so that I went to a lot of these life insurance, meet a lot of fucking suits with the ties and shit. It's just so hearty handshakes, and I bought a boat and I bought this car. And if you bought a big car, you had to kind of, oh, is it of the year? Right? So even within the fucking making sure that you like flash your brands and stuff, they gotta see. It made me sick to the stomach. Okay. So I generally don't enjoy these types of things. I realized at the end of this conference that, well, I realized almost at the very beginning of this conference where it's like, holy fuck, I'm in my element here, man.
Yeah.
We're all kind of weird. There's a reason why we're working there, and it's never worked anywhere else but there. So that was fun, man.
Yeah, and every time I go back to Detroit, I don't know how much this has to do with the conference, but I grew up not far from Detroit, going to punk shows and stuff there when I was growing up. It's always a trip to go back and just see how much everything's changed. And I can say, even in the last 2 years since the last time I spent any significant time there, it's come up, man. It's things are looking good. Things are busy. People are out. There was more shows than I could count on one hand over the couple days that I was there that I wanted to see. All good stuff.
I didn't get to go to the museum, the what's it called, the Motown Museum. I didn't get to do anything, but I guess next time around, Yeah, dude. So I'm gonna continue my story right from where you left off.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that Albert Eiler comes soon, man. I want that. That Tav Falco.
Let me just show you this color before you kick me off here, just so your users can see how beautiful that thing is.
Look at this guy fucking pushing. Hey, just why don't you fucking shove that stuff in the people's throats? Not cool. Yeah, the Tav Falco, who I don't know at all. I know we spoke about maybe me getting an interview with Tav Falco, and he's supposed to be an interesting guy, but I don't know his music, I don't know his art, I don't know his history. And sometimes I think one of the things that I really like is almost leaving it that way, right? To kind of like just see where the two worlds join when you start talking about art, where you start talking about music. That's the way you and me got to know each other, right? We started nerding out about records.
Yeah, and there's a few connections to other releases with Tav Falco. I mean, we could go on forever about it, but I'll let you talk to him. I'm sure he can come on the podcast sooner than later.
Wicked.
There's a through line from him to the Sun Records stuff, and actually Mike Watt plays on this Tav Falco Christmas album that's coming out for Black Friday. So Mike Watt, who's definitely part of our story.
Pushy. Just keep fucking plugging those records, you cocksucker. Fucking guy. What is it? Is it like you support me or you're a sponsor or something? Hey, relax.
Don't sell themselves. Come on.
No, dude, you're awesome. Honestly, it's such a pleasure to be able to put the face behind the name for myself last week. And to be able to basically show the people who buy your records, that you're the one who does it. And I'd like to kind of keep this going, give people news as it comes along.
Yeah, let's stay in touch, and I'll keep sending you some records so you can check them out and share them with your people. I appreciate it. Appreciate the support.
Anytime, dude. Seriously, we're going to talk about it forever anyway. Look, I'm going to stop now and go on to the rest of this making vinyl thing. I'm trying to get rid of you, but it's not working really well.
Take care, man.
Later, dude. Is it here? Yeah, it's here. Later, dude. You rule. Thanks for doing this. Let's clear that layer. Okay. So that, folks, was Rossiter. Did you enjoy our conversation with Rossiter? He's a cool dude. I'm hoping to do a whole lot more of those types of conversations because the arts industry is nuts, man. The arts industry is full of really creative cats. I just didn't feel like so much of a weirdo. That's fun, man. In the business world, I was a weirdo, believe me. Well, maybe I'm still a weirdo, I don't know. Cheers, folks. Let's move on, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to put back those pictures of the Making Vinyl conference so that I can continue my story. Believe it or not, I'm not even through day 1 yet. There's only one review, by the way. Morphine Live at the Warfield, 1997. I'm going to do that after I tell all my stories, okay? I figure if you're bored, you would have left already. So, let me get my handy-dandy notes. Told you about the Mexican gentleman that liked watching me? Yeah. All right, so, excuse me. That's what a little bit... It was building up inside. I'm sorry. I know it's rude, like you're on, you know, it's on air. It's not very professional, but look at me. It's shameful. What's a burp? Is it gonna sway the needle anymore? It's like, oh, that's the behavior that's gonna take it over the top. I will not spend time watching this scoundrel anymore. No. No manners, dude. So, as this is going on, some of these conferences are going on. A lot of fun, right? At one point, it's right before supper or something. We've been working with Runout Groove, and we will be working a lot closer to with Runout Groove. The guys that put out the Morphine record that I'll be reviewing later, and the Iggy Pop I talked about, and Secret Machines, and a whole bunch of other stuff, right? So I knew that I would be talking to Billy Fields. And, I mean, yeah, the picture just disappeared. You saw that. You know, the guy cuts a very distinct figure. He's got that little fucking mustachio with the points at the tip. Stab cockroaches at the tip of those things. Remember the 80s, those pointy shoes? Cockroach killers? I don't know if it was like that in your neighborhood. In my neighborhood, the Italians. Cockroach killers. So, mustachio, handsome man, big wig, big fucking wig. This guy was a cheese, right? Like, in terms of the room there, he is Gorgonzola. Just big fucking cheese. So, I see him taking a piss. I'm going into the bathroom because, you know, what, you think this look happens by itself? I gotta go freshen up. So I go there. I see the guy taking a piss. And doesn't even see who I am. Billy, fancy meeting you here. Doesn't look at me. Fuck, this is so true too. Doesn't look at me at all. Yeah, dude, you too, man. Really cool meeting you. So he's there taking a piss. And I don't remember why we started talking about this, but somehow, fuck, what record? My mind's not coming to me anymore. Oh yes, somehow we started talking about Twisted Sister. I'm not sure why we were talking about Twisted Sister, but I was going to, you remember the PMRC meetings, right? When he shows up with the fucking thing and has his papers, he folds them all out and just starts basically completely chewing the PMRC a new arsehole. Yeah, that entire thing, right? When he starts talking, for some reason I start telling this to Billy, and I mean his back to me, so we haven't even faced each other yet. The guy's taking a piss. He drank a lot, a bit of a drinking problem. So it was a long piss. So what happens is, we're talking, and I'm telling him about the PMRC story about fucking, what's his name? The hairy guy, D. Snyder, right? He's saying, look, you guys over here, you're telling me that I belong here, and I'm one of the filthy 14. I'm the one who are corrupting today's youth. Why? Because I released a record called Under the Blade, which you immediately associated with suicide. Guess what? It wasn't about suicide at all. It was about one of my friends who had an operation. So if you had suicide on your mind, that came from you, not from me. Boom, burn. Billy finally turns around, all zipped up. At this point, you know, when you meet people in the bathroom, it happens sometimes, let's be honest. It's always that question. Will this guy wash his hands? Billy, you done right. You washed your fucking hands. He was one of those scrubbers too. Fucking 2 squirts. You know? So, alright, Billy, we'll speak a little later, alright? Alright. And that's how it is that I met Billy Fields of Warner Brothers. And it's actually true. And it was awesome. And, you know, we move on. Then, should I get to the Jack White? Should I get to Jack White, the first story of Jack White? Is all of this happening, by the way? Are you guys enjoying yourselves? Should I check comments? Is it happening? Is the bus at the bus stop? There he is. No feedback, no nothing. I know, eh? The show's been pretty good. Other than me fucking it up, the content might have a little bit to be desired. Oh. I'm about to fuck it up. You hear that feedback? I gotta turn it off. I gotta turn them shits off. Alright. So, let me check my notes. Yeah, man. We're at the Jack White, Ben Blackwell part of the story. Sorry if the pictures bore you, man. What am I supposed to do? I almost felt self-conscious about even putting those pictures off because it's kind of like I'm showing you the pictures of a vacation. You know, like when people go to Rome and they just fucking blast you with pictures of their trip to Italy. And you don't really care. But, you know, every once in a while you put a comment, oh, I'm so happy you're having a great time. You know, we've all done it, right? So, now it's about, I don't know, what time was it? 5 o'clock, first day? Something like that. And Jack White and Ben Blackwell. Ben Blackwell, the co-founder of Third Man Records. And he was already on one of those panels. So, I already knew that he was a man of great humor. And sexy. So now, he's pulling double duty, this fucking guy. Right? He gets on, introduces a little bit the history of Third Man Records, and eventually introduces Jack White, who gets on and was pretty self-effacing. He just, you know, very self-effacing and not a shred of that pomposity, nothing. And began talking from the heart, and they had this conversation. I mean, this is clearly, you know, people that have spent their entire lives together. And there was such a great rapport between them, and the fact that what it is that they were talking about in common was vinyl. You know how it is, right? When you start talking vinyl with people, and you know, it's just, your eyes light up, man. It's just, you get excited. I got chicken skin just talking about it, man. This connection that we have to music. It's like, look, they can say whatever they want about format, man, but just the tangible quality is, you know, I sit down and I sit with a record, and Jack got that, right? And you saw that he wasn't just saying it to say it. As a matter of fact, if anything, one of the things that really I admired most was the fact that he was telling the Paramount story, which I think I already mentioned once, but, you know, taking all of these old 78s and just really making a proper vinyl release of the entire story of Paramount Records. And, you know, taking a huge loss on it, because, I mean, how many people are going to buy those box sets? And to me, that said a lot, you know, funding the bigger project, funding the smaller projects for the sake of art with the bigger projects. And that reminded me of one of my, you know, really greatest heroes, Zappa. And that's exactly what Zappa did with a lot of his music, right? A lot of his music was just lost a ton of money on it. And what he would do, he just really openly admitted, especially in the 80s, that he would put on the rock and roll shows so that he can make enough money so that he can fund his orchestral works. And that's kind of what Jack White reminded me of. So he got off the stage and he gets it. I understood. And one of the things, just let me read a couple of the things that he had said there, which I got actually from the Making Vinyl webpage. Okay, so I will do some quotes, but where are we? Some of the quotes. If you really want to show reverence and respect to music, experience this way. Yeah. Making a connection not only with the product, it's not just about the product, it's not about stuff, it isn't about that. It's a question of art is an immersive experience, and art adds that element to it. Vinyl, the physical, adds that element to it, especially when you know that the artist is the one who's put all of that together. To say that that's not the case is simply wrong. To just, you know, it's kind of like saying, hey, you know what? Trees, they're all the same. Why the fuck go walk in the forest? Hey, let me take a picture of a really nice forest. What we'll do is we'll get some really good photographers. So, no. And his passion was there. And again, you know, what did he say? Second quote was, I don't care if we lose money, White admitted, of his vinyl plant, Third Man Pressing, which he opened in February. Okay, I thought it was January, so February. You know, so he didn't care. He just felt that Detroit needed this and did it. And his final quote being, exposing people to beauty at any cost. That's everybody's job in this room. And it's why I do what I do, man. I can't do anything else and be happy. And you do it at any cost. And I'm going to die doing this because I love it. And I hope that it's worth supporting, you know, because whatever it is that you have in your heart, man, do it. Just don't fucking ever live in regret. I'm 47, man. I should have gone with it way earlier. Don't do like me. I'm a dumbass. Really, just pursue, man. Pursue. So once this is over, I'm charged. I'm fucking charged. Charged. You remember you've seen Eddie Murphy Delirious? When the Italian guy gets out of the Rocky movie and he thinks it's real life? That's me. Fucking Jack White charged me because I got it. And at that point, it's like, yeah, this is why I'm busting my ass. This is why I took $1,500 to come here and make sure that I shook every hand I could and make sure that I put this community ahead. Why? Because I really do believe that you guys are the best audience out there. You all buy records. You all buy records. Okay? We have a chance to let these people speak directly to you. Not MTV, not anything. I think it's something powerful, and I think it's artistic, and I think it's got value. And I believed in it, and Jack kind of, at any cost. All right, Jack, I got it. And I remembered why I was there, and I was tired. I really was. I was tired, and my feet hurt, because I've been wearing the same pair of red Doc Martens for the past 20 years, and I don't know why I don't throw them out, because those soles are shot. But I need new Doc Martens, is what I'm trying to tell you. So I went in, and I can tell you who one of the first people I met was, and he'll remember it, because I bet he wishes it didn't happen. But I had met Brandon Shranowski from Third Man Records and started going all fucking Rocky Balboa on him, just charged. Remembering why I'm there. Remembering that my job is not to make people, just to make sure that people know why you do it and what you do. And I made sure that that happened. And I'm bipolar, right? So you can only imagine. I get over the top. I get exuberant. So much so that when I followed up all the emails and, you know, with the business cards and everything, I even apologize. It's like, look, I'm sorry for the exuberance. It's just, this stuff excites me. It really does, man. It's like, this is my passion. I may have totally burnt my bridges at that point, right? But look, man, you don't know how to be any other way. So all of a sudden, this is the best one of all. Holy fuck. When you see Jeffrey Smith come up on those pictures, this maniac. This maniac. So I'm excited. And I just got out of that. And I'm still feeling all fucking Rocky Balboa. I mean, well, in my case, maybe more a little bit Butterbean. But, You follow the analogy. The analogy is what's important here. And Discogs was definitely on my, if you quote-unquote, checklist of the people that I definitely wanted to make contact with. Why? Because I'm on it all the time. All the time. You know, as a matter of fact, Jeffrey, I always have to look at his name because I always forget his name, was on one of the panels and was saying that people spend an average of 20 minutes on Discogs per visit, and only 6 minutes on porn sites. And that Discogs is among the top 600 most visited websites in the world, like right up there with the porn sites. So we start talking, and it's clear the minute we start talking about records that it's just, that's him, Jeffrey Smith, look at him. Fucking bullethead. This guy. The passion for the music was palpable. Now, one thing I hadn't counted for is I'm always the one who's got this energy. So this guy comes in and he's got just as much energy than me. He's a little shorter than me, but he's got this energy and he's fucking, you know, all in my face. And it's kind of like at this point, you know, dude, I like you. I like you, Jeffrey. You need to respect my personal space now. But I let it go because he looked like maybe he could make a bomb. So I just let that shit slide. All right, no problem, Jeffrey. Get right in my face. I love it. Let's talk music. And then meet his partner. And I had to make notes for that too. Because I'm not good with names. But these are important people, right? These are fucking the cheeses. The cheeses. I can't remember the founder of Discog's name. Chad Dahlstrom, who might actually be watching this. He's watching this. He knows he has to watch this. And we start talking about the database and how it all started. And really, this thing that he has for wanting to... I was asking him about Gearogs, right? Which is a database for gear. And, you know, they were talking about comic books and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I clearly began realizing that these guys would basically catalog anything, right? So I told him, hey, how about pornogs? And he said that they thought about it already, but they would get a little iffy because of the, you know, those early porns. Age of consent didn't matter as much as it really should. So you don't want to get into that disgustingness. But all this is to say that the people at Discogs are filth. Complete filth. Complete fucking filth. And I will be working with them because it was so obvious, the synergy was so obvious. And what excited me most is I told them, and I meant it, you guys are the best fucking audience in vinyl. You all buy records, you all love this shit. And a lot of you don't use Discogs. And we got time as we do these shows to go into it, right? I'm going to tell you what it is that I do every day because the truth is Discogs is open 24 hours a day for me. So that's me meeting Jeffrey. And me and Jeffrey, we got shit to talk about. All right. So that's day one. That's day one. Day two is going to be shorter, though, okay? Because it was only half a day. Fuck, I hope this isn't boring. So, I go home. I hadn't slept a whole lot at all, right? Buzzing from the entire thing. Couldn't sleep. Go outside. And, I mean, it was 1 o'clock in the morning. I was hungry, and I think I saw on social, whatever, Eric Astor from Furnace Manufacturing ordered a pizza, so I got hungry. So I decided I was going to go around the corner store and get a burrito or something. So I go outside, and the store was closed, and it's raining, and it's fucking cold. I'd forgotten my toque, and realized maybe I'm paranoid, and it does look nice, but I was scared of putting my toque on. So rather than put my toque on and keep my ears warm and, you know, there, you know what, man? I ain't taking no fucking chances. Here's my face. I already got this beard. They might think I'm some disgusting Arab. And I'm just as disgusting. I'm a wop. So, got back, buzzed, just really on adrenaline, and really tired. So I took to, you follow up on this stuff. I took all my business cards, and right away, hey, check it out. You know, I'm going to put together a 2-pager, but this is it. It was a pleasure meeting you. These are the links, and I look forward to meeting you tomorrow, you know, and make some friends like that, because you're there to hustle, right? And Jack reminded me of that, although I knew that that's what I went for to begin with. So the second day comes in. Oh, by the way, at the end, there was something called the Alex Awards, which is for like art in music and in vinyl. So they were kind of like picking up best artwork, best a whole bunch of things. And during this time, it was the end of the night, and I didn't pick my moment properly. But I tried to go up and talk to Ben Blackwell and asked him for a few minutes. He said, "Oh, the show's about to start," and he turned around. So I thought he completely blew me off, and it's like, oh, well, I'm a douchebag. Who can fucking blame him, right? So I felt slighted. You hurt my feelings. Ben, what I'm trying to tell you, my feelings were hurt. You see the sadness as my lips quiver under this beard? You hurt my feelings. Because I thought you didn't like me. So all this happens. And next morning I wake up, go back to the conference. Now this conference, day 2, starts with Daryl DMC McDaniels of Run DMC. So whereas Jack White and Ben kind of like did their keynote speech more at the end of the day, DMC gets started right away. Now, I grew up listening to Run DMC. It was a big deal. Of course, I'm no different than a lot of the people there, but what a dynamo. Well-spoken, intelligent, not verbose at all, charming, funny, powerful, energetic. And this guy looked like fucking Iron Man. It's like he's 52 years old, and he's got these guns on him. Did I leave it here? Fuck, I wish I could show you this cover, this album cover. Nah, it's not in here. You guys watch Luke Cage on Netflix? He looks like Luke Cage. Beast Man. With all this energy. Talking about music and talking about how, you know, Motown and funk and soul and Aretha and all of this was very much his thing, but what he gravitated towards was rock. Now this I didn't know. And he would talk about the records and how, you know, DJs would kind of like just cover the labels so that they wouldn't give away the beats, and talked about the history of how he got to Walk This Way. You know, he didn't even know who the band was, didn't know what the song was. He just knew the record with the toys on it, song 4. And fuck, what was it? I got a piece of my beard in my teeth. Sorry. It was 1986. Shit, I remember it clear as day. Now, I was an Aerosmith fan, and Aerosmith, it wasn't cool to like Aerosmith during those times. It was the Done With the Mirrors years. Wow, this is a long broadcast, eh? The Done With Mirror years, so very, very coked up, and it was a disaster in terms of reunions. But this happened afterwards, and they blew up, and I had a story to tell him. And once he came off, you know, really, really gracious, signed whatever autographs were there, took pictures. I told him this story, and he was clearly interested. And the cool thing about this is he gave a good 20, 25-minute thing, right? And as the conversation was going on, I noticed that he was coming to me a lot more, you know, because I was responding to him, because I loved it. And when it came time to show his record and stuff, you know, he gave it to me and like put it in my hands. So it's like I could look at it, and it's just, he was almost like using me as a prop at the end, you know, which I really found cool, and I loved it because it's like, good, dude. I'm glad you see that I like it that much, because yes, you influenced me. Yes, I've been listening to you since '86, and yes, I think what you do is amazing. So what he tells me is, dude, I really want to hear this story as I go into this story about high school. And I'm not going to go into it right now, but he tells me, look, follow me. So I just wind up kind of like hanging out and following him out into the back room and telling him stories. Before you know it, we're all talking about vinyl. And, you know, he's telling me about the old days. And I'm going into, you know, 70s Brooklyn. And at some point, I start talking about the Ghetto Brothers, like I did a couple of weeks ago. And one of his entourage just pulls out a cell phone and just starts recording me. And, you know, I just keep doing what I do. And at the point, he's pointing at his friend. It's like, you hear what this fucking guy's coming with? This guy's, what's coming out of his mouth? And it's the first time I ever see that, like, with people in front of me. So it's like I was happy to see that, right? Because I love this stuff. I love telling these stories. So seeing it really made me happy. And we left off with, we're going to do some work together, okay? He has a comic book coming out. Check this. This is his art, man. Check it. The dude's good, man. He's good. So DMC Comics is coming out, right? There, a brand new record is coming out on Record Store Day. And he loves Montreal, so we started talking about that. And he was actually saying, hey, man, I'll come down to your place and we'll do this. Now, look, I don't know where any of that goes, right? Because there's a very big difference between, you know, you make a connection when you see each other and then, you know, what happens afterwards. As it turns out, I had forgotten to get his manager's card, which really fucking sucks, right? But I'm hoping that it does happen because it would make an amazing conversation. And whether it happens on Skype like it did with Rossiter or for real, it doesn't matter, right? Because the man's got stories, man, and we got to chop it up a little bit, and I'm pretty sure we'd be able to talk about records till the cows come home. So the rest of the show goes on. I'm almost done, by the way. I'm coming, not to the end, but I'm winding down. So, a few more talks. Yeah, okay, I'll give you a quote when it comes to DMC. My life has been empowered by records, he said, adding that listening to vinyl provides an experience that you can touch and feel. It gives you a memory. Okay, so that's one of the things he says. So, conference over. Say goodbye to everybody. Now there's a tour that goes on at Third Man Records. And this is a tour that you need a coupon necessarily, right? Because they have the pressing plant inside, all painted yellow and stuff. I had gone to see it already, but I hadn't gone right into the pressing plant. So, you know, me, Mr. Vinyl Junkies, you figure I'd take this shit seriously. But at this point, dude, I'm a fat man. I sweat. I had to get out of my clothes. And I had to get on a plane. So I'm taking my shit off. I forgot to take off the thing around my neck, right? So this was stuck in the thing around my neck. I go to Third Man. You have to see the way these guys treated us, man. We're talking about hand-rolled pizza, just gourmet shit. Gourmet pizza and like really nice pints of beer. This delicious stuff. So right before I get onto the plane, I'm basically fucking eating this gourmet pizza and getting hammered on beer with the most charming, beautiful young lady serving the pizza who looked like Amy Winehouse. So I began flirting with her. Not in a nasty way. Not like that. I'm not disgusting. I didn't fucking Weinstein. Fuck you. But she was a pretty girl and she was nice. So we start making jokes and we have this fun, right? I'm getting ready, completely charged. I want to go and take a look at this tour. So I needed this ticket to get in. Now I didn't have this ticket. So I thought it wouldn't be a big deal, and it was. So what I wind up doing is I wind up going into my character again, and whether you like it or not, hey, you've seen the movie Mean Street. I was born in a Scorsese film, so I go into the Italian thing, which kind of, I didn't get in. I didn't get to see everything that was happening. But before all of that was happening, you know, I was already starting to think of my plane ride. And in pops Jack White. Casually, cool, everything there, you know? And I thought it was really cool that he came to say hello. I wasn't expecting it at all, right? And just went and asked him, you know, and I had taken a bunch of my coffin stickers and put my email in the back, and I just asked him, hey, Jack, can I ask you a question? He goes, sure. I'm there. Have you ever heard of Vinyl Junkies? And he goes, yeah, of course I have. And he goes, well, you know, I'm the founder of Vinyl Junkies, and what you do makes a difference. Thank you. You know, if it wasn't for guys like me, wouldn't be able to do this if it wasn't for you, you know. So shook my hand, and I wanted to tell him a whole lot more, you know, and I wanted to talk to him. Basically, the only thing I really said was that what I liked most about his label was the fact that he put his balls on the line and put out something like the Paramount box set. To me, that was really the thing, you know, and those records are Grail records. You know, I know I'm never going to own them. It's fine. But just the fact that he did that to me tells me, you know, that there's integrity there. It's like it matters. It matters. It's not just a money-making proposition. And, you know, told him that, and we took a picture together, and it was awesome. And as that goes on, Ben is around the corner, and it's like, hey, Ben, you know, sorry if I came off real strong. Last time I was kind of exuberant. He's like, hey, dude, don't worry about it. It's totally cool. And it's like, yeah, man, get in contact with me. We'll hook up. We'll do something. We'll do a show together. You know, I'll hook you up with records. And we left off like that. So I'm probably going to have some catalog from Third Man. And we're likely, hopefully, listen, I'm going to do my part. I promise I will. But we're hopefully likely going to have a conversation with Ben. And it'll be fun because you know what else I learned? He's the drummer, or the second drummer of the Dirt Bombs. I didn't know that. And I hope it happens. And maybe an interview with Tav Falco. And maybe an interview with Mike Watt. And maybe an interview with Jack White. I don't know. Why the fuck not? I mean, this is real. You know? I mean... And this is his public, so I don't know. I can tell you one thing for sure. You guys know me well enough to know that I'm going to take the swing, and I'm going to do what I have to do in order to bring you the best content. And honestly, I love it. I love this. I love you guys. Thanks for everything, man. I don't have time to do the review. I'm tired. I'm fed up. I've been going on for too long. Okay? This record here, okay? Morphine. Go buy it. Morphine Live at the Warfield. That's Run Out Grooves. If you want to know what a Stoughton sleeve look like, tip on. That's what a Stoughton sleeve looks like. Quality all the way. It sounds amazing, and it came out yesterday. It's in stores everywhere. Run Out Groove. It's really good. And now, you guys, it's time to... I need to stop talking, man. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Who are we going to pick here? What I'm going to do is I'm going to let you go with some more 400 blows if I find the record, so you guys can see exactly why I like it as much as I like it. No, that's Black Lion. I'm not taking no chance with... I'm not taking a chance with Jazz Catalog, because if I put up Jazz Catalog, they'll take it down on YouTube. I found it. 400 blows. So, we're going to listen to some of that to let you off. It's the album you see in the background. And we need winners, so let me just get there, okay? Maybe one of you won. If it counts at all, one of the winners is going to be a Mexican. Because they support me and they fucking love me, so... I love my Latina friends and my Latino friends. I'm just looking for that person right now. Why is this mouse a fucking disaster? Ah, I hate technology. You know when it is that you're trying to find your... Ah, there we go. You know when it is that you're trying to find your cursor? That's what's happening. And I got like 3 screens happening at once, so I can't find my cursor. But it's the end of the show, so most of you tuned away by now, unless you think you're actually going to win a record. Which you might. I won't lie. Share the content, guys. That's always the deal. Share the motherfucking content. Winners, winners, winners. My wife's upstairs. Are you done, FP? Vinyl Junkies live? And it's like, no, baby. Not yet, not yet. You know Kiss? Right? Kiss? Just a few more hours. And I'll be right home to you. Well, in this case, upstairs. Upstairs to you. I think I hear them calling. Oh, Beth, what can I do? Beth, what can I do? All right, we're so close. I'm putting the music on. Tell me if this doesn't sound like quicksand. We're picking. First winner. Oh shit.
It's always coming. Oh, it's always coming too fast. Sometimes it seems.
Paul Ortega. Paul Ortega, you win a record. Congratulations. Feliz cumpleaños and Feliz Navidad. And we got another winner somehow, right? But that's one of the winners. Maybe I should stop. Oh well, one prize. I hope the splendid content made up for it. I'm done talking.
Stop the end. And all of those beautiful things that you see. You take them all. Even though you know nothing in this world is free. Here comes the end. It's the end. Stop the end. Or they'll never read all those letters that you'll never send. Your time